depending on where you are joining us from. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome to the 4th edition of the Anambra Tech Drive webinar series, themed The Essence of Cybersecurity, organized by the Solution Innovation District of Anambra State Government. You are all welcome. My name is Onyinye Ezani, and I'm your MC for today's event. We have a captivating lineup of speakers, engaging panel section, and valuable insights that are sure to enlighten you on how to safeguard your social media network, data, digital systems, and data from hackers and other forms of malicious activities. But before we dive into this insightful discussion, let's quickly go through some housekeeping rules to ensure a smooth and enjoyable experience for everyone. First, kindly set up your virtual background to create a more engaging and professional environment. Download it from the chat box. Look around, you will see the chat icon. Open it. The member of the team will send in the virtual background. So download it and set it up. If you are on laptop, if you are joining us with a laptop, click on the small arrow near start or stop button, video icon on the lower left of your screen. Click on choose virtual background. Then uncheck the box that says I have a green screen. Click on the small arrow plus sign on the right to add your image. Upload the virtual background you just downloaded. There you have it. If you are joining us with a phone, tap on your screen, click on the video icon on your screen at the right top of your screen, select the background, click on the image to add your downloaded virtual background. There you have it. I believe you all are doing that right now. Also, mute your mic. If you want to speak, use the emoji to raise your hand. We encourage you to leave your videos on, but please close your video if you want to move around, so you do not show us what we don't want to say. Remember, the world is watching you right now, so please be prim and proper. Dress up nicely and set up your virtual background. I invite you to make good use of the chat section at all times. Now let's meet one another. Tell us where you are joining the Anambra Tech Drive from. Tell us from the chat, go to the chat box and tell us where you are joining the Anambra Tech Drive from. For me, I'm joining from Oka, and we are delighted to have you all. I strongly urge you to grab a pen and paper, a writing pad, and a bottle of water, a cup of tea. Keep away from all distractions and be ready to soak into all we have for you today. Because today we are going to explore the intricate layers of cybersecurity, helping you understand its importance and providing insights on how to safeguard your digital life, which is very, very important. So I urge you to take pictures at all times and post on social media and tag Solution Innovation District. Throughout the course of this program, please type in your questions in the chat or comment section. Look around your screen. You will see the chat icon, tap on it, and type in your comments or question as we proceed. The moderator will read and take your questions when it is time. If you want an opportunity to ask your question yourself, be sure to turn on your video and be dressed properly. But ensure your question is typed in early. Kindly type it early and please keep it clear and brief. Identify your question by typing a capital letter Q before the question for easy identification and from other comments. Now, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the leadership of Anambra State Government present here with us, the members of Anambra State Executive Council, all of you. We are welcoming you all for gracing this event with your presence. Also, a warm welcome to our keynote speaker for today, Dr. Joseph Anna Ejemba, our distinguished panelists and moderator joining us today from around the world. Your insight and experience are highly anticipated, and we are eager to learn from you all today. Ndi Anambra, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, joining us today from different parts of Anambra and the world. You are all Unfortunately, she won't be speaking with us today, but she has entrusted one of her team members to deliver the opening remark on her behalf. Please help me welcoming Mr. Precious Asadu, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Innovation and Business Incubation, to do the opening remark. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please, yes, just type solution is here in the comment section, so we are sure we are communicating, actually. So like Onyinye said, my name is Chukwuemeka Precious Asadu. I am the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Anambra State on Innovation and Business Incubation. And I'm here humbly representing my principal, the Special Advisor to the Anambra State Governor on Innovation and Business Incubation, the person of Ms. Chinwe Okoli, who was unavoidably not present. So firstly, I want to start by acknowledging the Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR, whose spatial vision and innovation brought into existence the Solution Innovation District, and by extension, the Anambra Tech Drive webinar series on which we are today. I also want to acknowledge the Anambra State Executive Council and the entire leadership of Anambra State who may be here present. I also acknowledge the ladies and gentlemen of the press who may be here present. I generally welcome all of you. The Anambra Tech Drive webinar series is brought to you by the Anambra State Solution Innovation District. Solution Innovation District, as most of you may already know if you're already following us in most of our programs, is the Innovation and Business Incubation Program initiative of the Anambra State government that is established to activate and build and spearhead the building of a thriving innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship ecosystem in Anambra State. The programs and focus, can you still hear me, please? Hello.
We can hear you, go on.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So the programs and focus areas of SID includes training and capacity building. This focus area helps SID to equip the Anambra with the varieties of digital skills they need to adapt and be successful in the digital world of today and of course the world of tomorrow where we are headed to. We also have the other focus area, which is the startup support. This involves grooming, incubating, mentoring, and supporting startups to start out their businesses, transform their ideas into businesses, and grow and succeed right out of Anambra State. We also have another focus area, which is an SME support, the traditional business people, men and women. We are equipping them with the knowledge that will help them to understand how they can leverage technology to improve their business processes, increase their customer base, sell beyond their immediate environment. And then in order to achieve the objectives and drive down the vision of Solution Innovation District, we have a lot of programs that are in the pipeline. Some of the programs have already been started with some
We can't hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. So as I was saying, we have a lot of programs in the pipeline. For instance, we have the Level Up Anambra, which is the digital skills training program that seeks to train the Anambra on various areas such as digital marketing, graphic design, productivity tools, and web design. We've run the first and second cohorts already, which have been concluded, and we saw the training. We saw to the training of 20,000 in the Anambra. Out of which some of them won laptops and some won internship placement and are currently working with us at the SID. We also have another training program called Code Anambra The Code Anambra program is a programming and software development training that seeks to equip the Anambra that wish to build a thriving career in the software development area with the knowledge they need to start and succeed in their career. We also have the program Teens Digital Bootcamp, which is directed towards the teenagers, the future leaders, the leaders of tomorrow, equipping them with the foundational skills they need to succeed in the digital world of today, and then get ready for what is to come tomorrow. Of course, we also have the Anambra Tech Drive, which is a webinar series that seeks to bring together the ecosystem of technology and innovation in Anambra State. And of course, bring industry leaders, experts who come to share their journey, their stories, and their expertise with the ecosystem we have from Anambra State. So you're very welcome, everyone, to this edition of the Anambra Tech Drive, the August edition, and also the fourth edition. Today, as the MC has already said, we are going to be talking about cybersecurity, how you can protect yourself from hackers, scammers that are out there. So I and the team, we are keen that by the end of this webinar, you will have received enough value and inspiration and the motivation you need to stay solid and in the technology and innovation ecosystem. If you're not following us on social media, you're on a long thing, please search for Solution Innovation District on any social media. We're everywhere. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere on LinkedIn. Search for Solution Innovation District and like us, follow us, stay glued to our pages, because all the opportunities, the programs we have, all of them are announced across all our social media channels. And then I am sure you do not want to miss any one of our programs, any one of our, insightful, power-packed events. So once again, I welcome each and every one of you. And I hope that by the end of this webinar, we will receive value. Thank you very much and welcome to this webinar series.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Precious, for such an inspiring and well-articulated opening remark. We truly appreciate the insights into the SID programs and the roles in fostering innovation and business growth in Anambra State. Thank you very much. Now it is time to hear from our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Joseph Anambra. But before he starts, permit me to introduce our keynote speaker for today. Dr. Joseph currently works as an assistant professor in the Department of Information Security Engineering Technology at Abu Dhabi Polytechnic, United Arab Emirates, where he lectures on several cybersecurity-related courses. Additionally, he holds position as a visiting researcher at Wuhan Bofa University in Wuhan, China, and a research associate at Muscat College in Oman, called Kingdom of Oman. Dr. Joseph is an accomplished researcher with a remarkable track record, boasting over 35 scientific publications and more than 800 citations on Google Scholar from 2018 till date. From Ohio University, Changzhou, China. Before pursuing his PhD, he served as a lecturer and deanology at Umar Kupai College of Business Doctorate Studies. He also worked as a communication engineering at Ohio University, where he taught IT security-related courses. Furthermore, Dr. Joseph has authored and co-authored numerous top scientific research papers and has actively participated as a reviewer and guest editor for various security scientific journals. His research interests encompasses diverse areas such as Internet of Things, machine learning, cloud computing, physical layer security, and artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, are we delighted to have him today? Type in the comment section that we are ready. Type, I am ready. I want to see you to type, I am ready. Type, I am ready. To Dr. Joseph, the floor is yours. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, the moderator. I'm very delighted to be here today to deliver this in educative information to every member of Anambra State, because I believe that this is not just going to be about those who are right here on this platform. This information is going to go around and it's going to be helpful to a lot of youths and young ones around, and in order to either choose a career in cybersecurity or even to learn how to protect themselves, protect their data from any kind of cyber attacks that is rampant today. I hope everyone can hear me clearly, right? Okay, so let's proceed. But before I go on, I would like to appreciate the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Chasoludo, for this wonderful work he's doing to educate our people and give them opportunity to choose a beautiful career. Innovation is a trend, and if you are not informed, you'll be deformed. So I really applaud the governor for this stride. And when I was contacted for this, I was excited to be part of this innovative work that the governor is doing. And I want to also appreciate the special advisor to the governor on innovation and business in the person of Ms. Chinwe Ukoli and her entire team for this beautiful work that they are doing. This is a great stride, and its history is going to be very generous to all of you for what you're doing in Anambra State. I'm an Anambralian, and then I grew up in Anambra State. So this is like me giving back to my society. All right. And I want to appreciate the presence of my lecturer who is right here. I can go further without recognizing my lecturer, one of those who brought me up and those who I am what I am today simply because of the fruits that they planted in me. And the person of Dr. Felix Agubosin, he's joined us here today and he's going to be in the panel as well. I'm very humbled to speak when my lecturer is there. So Dr. Agubosin, I appreciate you and I welcome you especially. I also welcome my friend and classmate in the person of Dr. Robin Otu and Mr. Izu, and the rest of other panelists who I don't know in person. I appreciate all of you. And I appreciate every one of you for joining today. And without wasting time, let's proceed to the business of the day. So today we are going to discuss, I don't need much introduction. I think the MC have done more than justice to my profile. So there is no more to give any other introduction about me. My name is Joseph Anambra. The topic of today is hinges around cybersecurity, and we're going to be looking at the essence of cybersecurity. And I just projected this, and someone in this room this afternoon might be thinking, oh, he doesn't even know how to spell security. Or maybe it's a typographical error. Why didn't he put a U? Why did he just spell S-E-C-R-I-T-Y? Why the omission? Okay, so if this was in a real classroom, I would have loved to ask students this question and then we discuss why I made this mistake and if actually it was a mistake. But in the real sense, this is not a mistake, and I'm going to tell you why in a jiffy. Now, there is no security without you. There is no security without you. Security is incomplete. And when I talk about security, I'm talking about whether physical security or cyber security. Security is without you. If you are not involved, security is not guaranteed. Security is not complete. So each and every one of us has a job to do. Each and every one of us has a role to play. In fact, in cybersecurity, we say that users are the weakest link in every network. Users are the weakest link in every network. It means that for cybersecurity, for cyber incidences to happen, a user must have been involved. You must have done something, or you must have, there is something you didn't do well, either from the vendors who design the applications or from the end users who make use of this application. So security is not complete without you. And some teachers might want to put a solution to a problem at the end of their teaching, but sometimes I like to bring some of the solutions at the beginning, just in case if we don't get to the end, you must have learned something from the beginning, right? So one, how can you help to prevent cybersecurity from occurring? One, before leaving the scene, clear your desk and your screen. A lot of us make mistake. You trust people around you so well, trust them so much that you don't bother. You just stand up from the scene and then you leave your computers, your passwords, your credentials and all that, and you just leave them and walk away. That's a very bad attitude. And that is one of the things that leads to cybersecurity events. Now, two is do not let your trash become someone else's treasure. Feed your shredders often. Do not let your trash become someone else's treasure. If you let if for example, you've written your password down somewhere and then you just squeeze the paper and trash it somewhere, that could be a treasure for someone else. You have some confidential information you've written down in your journals or in your pamphlets, and then you just carelessly squeeze them and trash them somewhere. You are actually making someone else rich by providing free information. So always try to feed your shredders often. If you don't have a shredder, always make use of your phalanges, your fingers, to shred every important confidential information that you've written down on paper and make sure you trash them properly. Now, when you leave your seat or your desk, there are two things you should always remember to do on your keyboard before leaving your desk, before leaving your seat. When you're working in an office, in your rooms, and everywhere you are, get this as a habit to use these couple of keys that I've provided right here in order to be able to stay protected. First, one of the keys is Control Alternate Delete. This key gives you other options to lock your computer when you're leaving your desk. So when you do Control Alternate Delete, it gives you a couple of other options to stop Task Manager and all that. Then you click Unlock, your computer is locked. But if you don't have the time to go through that process, you are in so much a hurry that you have to leave at that moment, simultaneously press with the Windows key and the L key on your keyboard, your computer locks. And whoever wants to gain access to your computer will require your access code, your password, your credential. So keep this at the back of your mind. In case we don't get to the end, and if you just know that you've learned something from the beginning. Clear your desk always. Don't make your trash someone else's treasure, and always lock your computers before you leave. And it doesn't take much for you to do that. In a split second, you have done Windows L on your keyboard and your computer have closed. If you have another computer right there that you're not using for this meeting, you can just practice that immediately and you find out that it works. So let's proceed. Now, today we're going to look at what is cybersecurity. And then we're going to look at why, what, and who. Why cybersecurity, who is involved in cybersecurity, and what is cybersecurity. So why cybersecurity? And then we're going to look at what we call the CIA. Some of us, we are familiar with the word, with the acronym CIA in America, Counterintelligence Agency. So there is also CIA in the fight of cybersecurity. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at cyber crimes and hackers. We're going to look at how cybersecurity works, and then who is a cybersecurity expert. Because my job today is not just to enlighten you to stay alert about the cyber attacks and to stay positive in cybersecurity, but also to show you that cybersecurity has provided millions of jobs in the world, and cybersecurity is like the next oil well, all right? A lot of persons are delving into it. There is demand for cybersecurity experts globally. And I encourage the youths of Anambra State and every other body and every other person under the sound of my voice to think about getting cybersecurity as an added certificate of qualification. It doesn't matter your field. It will be helpful for you, for people around you, and you can make so much money from cybersecurity. Now we talk about cyber attack. What is a cyber attack? What is a cyber attack? Cyber attack is simply any kind of attack, any kind of malicious activity that tends to steal your information, damage your infrastructure, or cause harm to the network. That is a cyber attack. Like you can see on the picture, this guy right here is a malicious user, of course, is an attacker, is a hacker, and he's trying to steal the information from this enterprise. So unknowing to them, he has gained access and is lifting the information from their archive. And only God knows what he's going to do with that at the end of the day. Now, what happens when this cyber attack occur? There is going to be, on the industrial level, there's going to be industrial espionage. And then there's going to be, the attacker could be asking the company for money. And this kind of attack, we refer to it as ransomware, when an attacker steals your information and demands a payment before he can release your information, or he abuses the confidential information that he has received. Also, we have selling the information to criminals. When an attacker gets this information, demands ransomware, and maybe the company doesn't want to pay the ransomware, he sells the information to any other bidder, which could also lead back to industrial espionage. So there is huge implication in the face of cyber attack. This is just on the industrial level. On the individual level also, you have cyber attacks on the individual level. You can have blackmail when an attacker gets hold of your confidential information. We've had a couple of cases when someone is blackmailing, maybe a guy is blackmailing a lady because using her nude or other implicating information he has on them. So cybersecurity is huge. So everyone needs to get involved. We all need to stay alert, and we all need to be sure. So what is cybersecurity then? So cybersecurity, in a simple term, is a technology and process that is designed to protect networks and devices from attack, damage, or unauthorized access. So it is a technology itself. There are different technological tools that we use in the process of cybersecurity. So aside that, we use human intuition, we get alert, we get ready, we get to protect ourselves. There are also technologies that you can use to fight these cyber attacks. All right, so what then happens when we initiate cybersecurity? Why do we need cybersecurity? Okay, one is to protect our businesses, to protect the government, to protect individuals, to protect our friends, to protect ourselves, to protect everything around us. That's why we need cybersecurity, and it's very, very important. Two is to increase productivity. Any company that is hit by cyber attack, they loses a lot in terms of finance, and sometimes also they lose their productivity, they lose their staffing and all that. Some time ago, I think in 2020, there was a company in the US by the name Sony. When they were hit by a cyber attack, a serious cyber attack, they lost thousands of their staff, and they lost money as well, and they lost reputation. So there is a lot to lose. So while we need cybersecurity is because we need to increase productivity, which is also the goal of the government of Anambra State. Also, it inspires customer confidence. It inspires confidence in the customers to know that my information is protected. If it is, for example, a financial sector, the customers are confident that their money is protected and preserved. That's why they keep going back to the bank to put their money all the time. If there is a cyber attack and then this bank is hit and customers can't get access to their money or whatever, or they lose their money, they are not going to have confidence in this bank anymore. And also it stops your website from crashing. This has to do with the kind of attack we call DDoS, distributed denial of service attack, which makes you unable to access your website and other resources. Also is for protection of your customer and your client. So cybersecurity is huge, and we all should take it very seriously. Now, we have seen what cybersecurity is. The next is why cybersecurity? Why do we need cybersecurity? And this takes us to the CIA triad. The CIA triad. Now, what is the CIA triad? We call it confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, these are the rules every secured network must agree to: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And it's a standard for every network. Every communication must provide these three parameters. Communication must be confidential. Information that must be intact, and information and resources in the network should be made available at every point in time. So why is it called a triad? Okay, it's called a triad because they all work as a chain. The three of them work as a chain. All right, one has to complement the other. Once you lose one, the other two is in trouble. So if the network must be confidential, communication must be confidential, there should be integrity, and at the same time, availability. Resources, information should be made constantly available in the network. Now, looking at these three, what is the implication of the CIA? One, CIA is the principle of confidentiality, which is a part of the CIA. It is a principle that asserts that information and functions can be accessed only by authorized parties. So in a situation whereby an unauthorized person gains access to information they are not authorized to gain access to, then that network has lost its integrity. And then integrity is the principles of, when we talk about integrity, this is a principle that makes sure that the information that is being transmitted is exactly the way it was transmitted from the sender to the receiver. So if I call you right now, or if I send you an email right now, integrity is that what I sent, hello, how are you? Where are you? I hope you're okay, is not altered in the process. And this doesn't have to also do just the information, the plain text that was transmitted. Also, the encryption patterns, the authentication keys, and every other frames that go along with the communication should be intact. I'm trying to be a little bit fast because I was given a very short time, and I'm wondering how I can be able to talk about cybersecurity in 30 minutes. But then we'll see how we can do justice to it. Now, availability is the principle that information is made available. For example, if I visit Solution Innovation District website right now, and I can gain access to do the business of the day there, then Solution Innovation District has failed me because data is not made available to me. And there could be a lot of reasons why that happens. It could be a technical issue, but at the same time, it could be that Solution Innovation District has been hit by a cyber attack, and the attacker has shut down the website from users. So this is very important. Now, there are different threats to the CIA. One, we have the cyber crime threats, and we have the hacking threats also. So let's look at the cyber crime threats. Now, the cyber crime text is carried out against computers or devices, either directly or indirectly, to disable, spread malware, steal secret information, and all that. So when this happens, the confidentiality of the network is what is being affected. When an attacker initiates a malware or disables the website, or disables one of the tools on the website or on the application, it becomes a threat to CIA. Also, cybercrime is any criminal activity that involves a computer network device or the network itself. Most cyber crimes are carried out in order to generate profit for the cyber criminal. Because one will ask, what's the intent of these guys that always cause interruptions in the network? What's their intent? What do they gain? Now, most times the gain of, or the intent of a cyber criminal is to generate profits, is to cause issue, initiate an issue on the network, so you could come back to them. And we all are faced with computer virus. Have you asked yourself, why do these guys just sit down and design a computer virus and just initiate it, and people get affected, people's computers get affected, and then in the end, what do they gain? Now, sometimes there is a vendor out there who has designed an antivirus, and then he just wants to sell his antivirus. And the only way to sell his antivirus, because obviously there are others that are selling better in the market. So he tries to design codes which could affect the computer, and only his antivirus has the signature of this virus, because there are viruses, there are attacks we call zero-day attacks. Now, these zero-day attacks are those attacks that just come into play today. And most existing antiviruses and firewalls don't understand the signature of this attack. So this guy designs this unique signature, releases it, and then releases his antivirus to combat this signature. Now, we talk about the types of cyber criminal. We have computer-assisted crimes, computer incidental to the crimes, and computer as a target. So there are some of these cyber crimes that are computer-assisted, such as fraud and denial of service. I've talked briefly about denial of service in the beginning. And then there are some computer incidental to the crimes, when the computer is incidental to the crime, like customer traffickers. This has to do with like insider kind of attack. An insider kind of attack is one of the most ravaging kind of cyber attack. Okay, it is when the insider releases confidential information to a malicious user outsider, or takes this confidential information and uses it by himself somewhere else. Now we have sniffing and viruses, which are computer as the target. When the computer is a target in the network, an attacker can initiate sniffing and viruses. We're going to see briefly what sniffing is in the preceding slides. And we'll talk about motives behind cybercrime. I'm not dwelling so much on this slide because I've actually talked more about it. But overall is that the motive of cyber criminals is to generate funds. They just want to initiate an issue, cause panic, and then sell whatever they have to sell, or get money to release whatever they have collected before. Just think about it like kidnappers in the real world. Whenever there is kidnap operation, the intent is to make more money. All right, so they just call you call your relatives, and then or call the relative of the victim and say, okay, we have your person over here, pay the amount and you get it back. This is just the summary of the overall intent. And the companies, the individuals, they are the most affected whenever there is a cyber attack. Now we'll talk about also hacking. Hacking also is a threat to CIA, just like cyber criminal. And we have different types of hackers. We have the white hat hacker, we have the black hat hacker, we have the gray hat hacker, we have the red hat hacker, we have the hacktivist, and we have the script kiddies. I'm going to talk briefly on any of these guys. The first one is the kind of hacker that is known as the ethical hacker, the ethical hacker. Now, who is an ethical hacker? Now, an ethical hacker is an hacker who hacks for a living in a positive way. Who hacks for a living in a positive way. For example, like I'm a certified ethical hacker. I have certificates for that. All right, now our job is to combat the cyber criminals. Our job is to hack for a living, do penetration testings, and find vulnerabilities in a network and be able to correct these vulnerabilities to avoid damages. And then who is a black hat hacker? A black hat hacker is the guy we're talking about today. Is that guy that steals your information, damages your computers and your resources just for the purpose of making money out from you or from elsewhere. And who is a gray hat hacker? A gray hat hacker is that guy who runs in between an ethical hacker and black hat hacker. He's not clean, and he's not very bad. Okay, sometimes he performs like a white hat hacker, sometimes he performs the role of a gray hat. So he's just a chameleon in between. All right, wherever money goes, he goes. Okay, and then the red hat hacker is that hacker that has a spot of these three. However, recently this guy has been eliminated from the picture. So most recent books you'll see doesn't have the red hat hacker. The hackers are classified under these three guys. And then we have the hacktivist. Now the hacktivist is that guy who has learned hacking and is practicing what he does, and he doesn't know where he wants to belong. He's just practicing hacking. And then lastly is the script kiddies. The script kiddie, some of us who are on this platform today might fall into this category. So script kiddie is that hacker who has learned a little bit about hacking. Maybe he knows how to use Kali Linux, he knows how to use Metasploitable, he knows how to use some of these tools that we use in hacking. But he just knows the basics. He doesn't know it to to the down below. So he just knows a little, and then he feels he has known it all, and then he starts exploring. And in the process of exploring, he is using the website of the government of Anambra State to explore. He is using Solution Innovation District to explore. He is using some private company's website to explore. In that process of exploring, he might initiate attack unintentionally because he doesn't really know what he's doing in detail. Okay, now, what are the different types of cybersecurity attacks? We have phishing, we have man in the middle, we have, I had some of my students ask me this question once in class. They'll say, like, Professor, why do we say man in the middle and why not woman in the middle? I was lost that day. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. But then I found a way to respond, and I said, because the first hacker in life was a man. That's why we refer to it as man in the middle. I have my teacher right here, and I see him smiling. Maybe he will throw more light later on why we call this man in the middle. All right, we have also password attacks. We have DOS and DDoS attack. So what's the difference between DOS and DDoS attack? DOS attack is simply denial of service attack, when that attacker makes resources and services unavailable to authorized users. Why DDoS is simply distributed denial of service. Now, DOS is to a singular computer, a singular system, while DDoS, which is distributed denial of service, is to multiple devices when the attacker initiates denial of service into multiple devices. All right, now we have password attack, phishing attack, brute force attack, viruses, spyware and keyloggers, malware attack, cross-site scripting, SQL injection attack. I'm going to talk about just three that are very peculiar and rampant and that are happening in our environment almost on a daily basis. Number one is the phishing attack. What is a phishing attack? Phishing attack happens every day. And maybe someone on this platform, you are a victim right now, like as we speak. Almost all of us we've come in contact. Let me not say we've been victims, but we've come in contact of the phishing attacks. Okay, and maybe someone right here, you were a victim today. So what is phishing attack? Phishing attack is a kind of attack, information gathering attack, when an attacker or a malicious agent sends unsuspected emails to you in order to gather your credential. For example, I can send an email right now to all of you I can generate a phishing email and send to all of you saying you are banking with First Bank, and unfortunately we found out that your account is this and that. Kindly log into this app to reset your password. Now, if that is a phishing email, once you click on that link, I will clearly see your password and your username from my end. I'll clearly see that, and then I'll gather that information, use it for whatever I had. So that is phishing attack. So we should be very careful. It's an information. How do you avoid being victim of a phishing attack? Do not click on any link that you are not very sure of. Do not click on any link that you are not very sure of. And if you are logging into a website, make sure that website is a secured website. Now, what do we mean by secured website? When you log into a browser using the URL, you see HTTP, sometimes you see HTTPS. Now, HTTPS simply signifies that this browser, this website you're trying to visit is secured using the transport layer security network protocol. Okay, but any website that is just HTTP, it's obviously an unsecured network, and every transaction you do there is completely unsecured. So be careful of that. And then I'll talk about password attacks. This is also one of the attacks that almost all of us, we are somehow victims of it. Number one is that make sure you use a strong password for your social media accounts, for your personal accounts and all that. And what does a strong password make of? You see some people, maybe for example, my name is Joseph, I will just use Joseph 1999. That's very easy for anyone to guess. And find my, but it will not take me as an hacker, if I decide to be a black hat hacker, it will not take me up to 30 minutes to guess that password. All right, so make sure that your password is strong, and a strong password should be made up of letters, both uppercase and lowercase, numbers, and special characters. And don't use consistent keywords. That's one. Two, make sure that you always change your password frequently. It is recommended by password policy that passwords should be changed every 3 months in a year. Every 3 months, change your passwords. Make sure you change your password, and don't keep repeating same passwords. Four, make sure that you don't use the same password for different applications: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Gmail, and all of it. Make sure that you use different passwords. All right, now, the third one I want to talk about is the phishing attack. What is phishing? It sounds like phishing, right? So what is phishing, and what is different between phishing and phishing? Now, phishing and phishing, they are both the same kind of attack. It's an information gathering kind of attack. Whenever an attacker is initiating phishing or phishing, he is gathering information. The only difference between phishing and phishing is that phishing has to do with emails and links, while phishing has to do with voice calls. So an attacker calls you and say, hello, I am Mr. John from the bank, and we just realized that this, and that. Could you provide us with the last 4 digits of your credit card so we could, that is phishing. The guy is trying to gather your information, and so one, be very careful with the links you click to protect yourself from phishing and to protect yourself from phishing. If no banks calls you on the phone, on the mobile, when there is an issue with your credit card. Okay? No bank calls you on the phone when there is an issue with your credit card or debit card. They will send you an email. And if they mistakenly, maybe breaking protocol, calls you by phone, request that they send you an email and invite you to their office so you could come rectify whatever it is. Don't disclose any of your confidential information via phone calls. All right, so the rest are attacks, but we don't have the time to go through them. How does cybersecurity work? One, two-way authentication, secure password. I've talked about that. And we have regular updates. Yeah, we use Android, iOS, and all of it, Mac, Windows. Always make sure that your softwares stay updated. And talking about also updates, make sure you don't use adulterated softwares. So there is this practice in Nigeria, because some of the softwares are quite expensive. No, we don't care. We just go to all these guys, beg, put Windows, put cracked Windows, cracked version of Windows for me. Put Microsoft Word, crack it, I beg, crack it, 350 naira, collect, put them for me. I no get money. Yeah, I know the economy is not good. Some of us can't afford that. But to a very great extent, if you can, don't go for those softwares. You are using those software, we call those softwares unpatched softwares, which opens a backdoor for an attacker to hit you and perform a cyber attack on you. Antivirus, firewalls, no phishing, cryptography, secure DNS. Then how do you keep safe? How do you keep safe? This is a summary of everything I have talked about. Keeps software updated, use strong, unique password, enable two-factor authentication, beware of phishing, because there is no tool that we can use to protect against phishing. All we can do about phishing is to educate people around us to know how phishing manifests and to beware. Regularly backup, use firewalls, use your secure your Wi-Fi, patch management, limit access, secure physical access, educate yourself and your team, regular audits your network, secure development, and all that. So all these are ways. If the organizers don't mind, I can share my PPT later on so people can go through it and get it. It's very, very simplified. Okay, it's very simplified because we don't have time. So I'm trying to make sure that I cover on time. And who is a cybersecurity expert? So a cybersecurity expert is that individual that is employed by an organization to protect their data. So this is talking about how you can make money now from cybersecurity. Every other thing we've said before is how you can protect yourself. Now let's talk about how can you make money from cybersecurity, because there is huge money in cybersecurity. All right, so if you're employed as a cybersecurity expert, you will be working to monitor network breaches, find weaknesses and vulnerabilities in the network. And after you find this, you should be able to be capable to repair and strengthen these areas that you have found in the network. So what are the different kinds of jobs you can get as a cybersecurity expert? You can be a security analyst. You can be an information security analyst. You can be a cybersecurity analyst. You can be a cybersecurity consultant for different companies. You can be a technical consultant. You can be a security manager or an IT manager. You can be a chief information security officer. You can be a network security engineer. And you can also be a lecturer like myself, teaching and educating others on how to become cybersecurity conscious and how to also become cybersecurity experts. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is me. Having done justice to my task today, I hereby put a pause to everything I've said. But in summary, I'll encourage everyone to stay conscious of cyber attack. And if you can, take up a course, maybe a short program on cybersecurity, just to get yourself more enlightened and more equipped to combat this, because it is actually a ravaging factor in the globe right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph. Wow. What an invaluable knowledge we gained today. Thank you very much, Doctor. It was a wonderful experience hearing from you. We actually gained a lot. We explored the layers of intricate in cybersecurity. Thank you very, very much. Now, if you have a question, kindly type in your question in the chat section, so our keynote speaker can address to that. Type in your questions. If you have a question, type in your question. We don't have time. Type in your questions. Okay. Ifeyunwa is saying thank you to Dr. Joseph for the insights. That's lovely. Honestly, Doctor, you actually explained everything in a layman understanding, in a way we all understood what cybersecurity is all about today. Okay, we have a question. Someone said, Ms. Onyekachi Mbelu said, do I need to be a program expert before learning cybersecurity?
Can I take that now?
Yes, you can.
Okay, yeah, Onyekachi. Now, you don't need to be a program expert to learn cybersecurity. However, you need some level, basic knowledge of computer science before you can do a venture into cybersecurity, because virtually all the tools that we use as cybersecurity experts are technical. So you need some level of computer science, and then the rest, we can prepare you to become whatever you want to be in cybersecurity. I hope I've answered that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. I have another question for you, Doc. Henry from Henry Arinze. He said, how do you get rid of when you are being attacked?
Okay, it depends on the kind of attack you're talking about. Like we've thought, like I showed you different categories of cyber attacks. There are a lot of cyber attacks. So it depends on type of attack. For example, if it is a virus, now in cybersecurity, we get prepared ahead of time. You don't wait until you are attacked. All right, you don't wait until you are attacked. So it depends on, for example, if it is a virus attack, you need a strong antivirus. And sometimes you need to completely format the device itself in order to get rid of the strings of the virus, okay? And then if it's a denial of service attack, of course, you need an expert who could read and trace the IP address where this denial of service attack is being initiated, so as to block the IP address and be able to retrieve access of the web server that is being attacked. So different kinds of attack. worm, if it is malware, you need some strong firewalls also in order to be able to filter. You need also a good intrusion detection system. We have IDS and IPS, so I can't really say this is how you get back your system or your devices or your network when you are attacked. Every attack, there is peculiar approach to every attack. So it depends on the kind of attack that we're talking about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Still on Onyekachi, he's asking if you could suggest any free or premium antivirus best for laptop.
I'm not sure it is professional, Onyekachi, for me to start suggesting vendors right on this platform, because that will be marketing those vendors and demarketing the others. So it's unethical for me to make suggestions. However, if you come to me privately, I can be able to guide you and probably get you to get the one that is best for you. But on this platform, sorry, I cannot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Doc. Paul Nwankwo said, I'm very happy with this beautiful knowledge you gave us. And on that, I will add my voice to say, thank you very much. We really appreciate your wonderful and valuable knowledge you shared with us today. Thank you. And that'll be all for the questions. So we'll move on to the next section, which is the panel section.
Sorry, I see some more questions. Yes. So maybe we can take those questions and address them during the panel section, because some of these questions are very important also. I'm not sure the moderator you're seeing them. If we don't have time for me to address them, then please note those questions and let's see if we can address them through the panel section. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on to the next section, which is the panel section. We went around to find people who have made waves related to the cybersecurity course that are really here to share their exceptional skills and experience with us for us to understand what cybersecurity is all about. Now, our moderator for that section is Ijoma Ezika. She will be moderating us on that section. And the topic for this section is still on our theme for this edition, which is the essence of cybersecurity. Now I will hand over to our moderator for the panel section, Ijoma Ezika. Please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today, and thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Dr. Joseph. You've done an excellent and amazing job. I learned so much, and I love how you broke it down to everyone's level. It really shows that you're the real professor, and I'm very excited to be on this platform with you. I welcome all our participants and all our speakers, and most especially, of course, you have already acknowledged the government of Anambra State, Ms. Chinwe and her team for bringing this up, for setting this up. And without much ado, I would like us to go on to the next session, which is the panel discussion. And to be honest, it's pretty much answering all the questions that are stemming from your talk, right? Because most of the questions I had, you've actually dealt with them, but I believe that with the other experts in the group, we'll also have a very valuable discussion. So I'll start by introducing all the members of the panel for this afternoon. First, we have Mr. Otu Obinna. Mr. Obinna is an IT consultant. He's a lecturer and is a PhD student specializing in human-computer interaction and smart technologies. He focuses on improving community policing through technology, using participatory design for user-friendly solutions. Otu is a NITDA scholar. He has published conference papers and journal articles, and he holds memberships in various professional bodies, including IEEE and Nigerian Computer Society. Welcome, Mr. Obinna.
All right, thank you, Ijoma.
Yeah, thank you. Next on the panel is Dr. Felix Aguboshim. He is the chief lecturer at Federal Polytechnic Oko, who is known for his expertise in computer science. He excels in teaching computer security, human-computer interface, HCI, data communication networks, research methodology. He has over 35 journal publications and 117 citations on Google Scholar. His reputation as a researcher is solid. Dr. Felix, you're welcome on this platform. You're muted.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And next we have Ifeoluwa Adeboye. I don't know if Ife is here with us today. Is she online, Mary Jane? Okay, I haven't seen Ifeoluwa, so maybe we move on to Izuchukwu Obiajulu. Izu is a business intelligence and data analyst with a knack for solving complex problems in unfamiliar.
I'm online. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm quite under the weather, but I'm sharing my screen soon. Thank you for having me, and I'm happy to be here with everyone. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for coming, even though you're not feeling so fine, and I hope you do get well soon. Ifeoluwa is an accomplished information security expert with a strong background in SOC and digital channels analysis. She possesses exceptional skills in stakeholder management, cybersecurity analysis, and performance optimization. Her proficiency spans multitasking abilities, networking, software testing skills, specialization on both cloud and on-prem security, including ISO 27001, compliance, and threat intelligence. She's a versatile professional at the forefront of cybersecurity. Speak of a great woman in tech. Welcome on board, Ifeoluwa. And finally, we get on to the last but not the least panelist, of course. By the time you hear his profile, you know he's not the least. Izuchukwu Obiajulu. He's a business intelligence and data analyst with a knack for solving complex problems in unfamiliar situations. He's dedicated to guiding startups to industry leadership through strategic business consulting and data-driven decisions, aiming for long-term growth. Welcome, Izuchukwu.
Thank you, Ijoma. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so let's hit the ground running. Ifeoluwa, I don't know. Yeah, now I can see your face, so I know who I'm directing the question. I wanted to ask you what is cybersecurity, but obviously we don't even need to go back to what that's because Dr. Joseph did a great job. But I want to get your insight as to why do you think this is an important discussion now, much more than ever? Like, why is data security such a big discussion that everyone needs to know about and needs to take action on? Over to you, Ifeoluwa.
Okay, thank you, Ijoma, for this question. I think the question is one of the right questions we have to ask ourselves. I don't know if everyone can hear me. Ijoma, can you hear me? So I can proceed. Okay, so I would say that data breach is very important. I think when I get to explain things, I think I like to use illustrations to explain things. So we get to familiarize ourselves with it. For instance, let's say I have 10,000 in my account, and then I leave my phone unattended to my PIN. Probably a friend or two knows my PIN and I leave it unattended to. And that 10,000 is supposed to pay for me for some certain certification, as an example. And then this other set of people takes my phone, or maybe someone or a friend or something takes my phone and use that, my information that he or she have, or probably I use my password as my name, Ifeoluwa, and someone, the first thing the person, like our first speaker had spoken about, is that the person would, when talking about password security, the person will try their very best to try to use things that are familiar with us. So the person gets my phone and inputs my name or my dog name and gets access. And before you know, the person is taking my money. So at the end of the day, we have to look deep down into all these things. I know that our data protection is very important. Even as an establishment, as a bank, as an hospital. For instance, my hospital, let's say I have a hospital and I'm taking care of the governor of Lagos State, governor of Anambra, the president and every other person. And their information is, every one of us have an hospital record. There's some information you don't want other people to gain access to. So me owning an hospital and my information is out there, everybody's getting it. Then I expose prominent and every other person, the aftermath of the suing of every person working or directly inflated to my company or in my hospital would actually start suing the hospital that my private information and details are out there. So data security in this our present this thing is very important because of the aftermath of whatever happens when wrong people gain access to our data. So we have to secure our data. We have to limit the control, like what the previous person spoke about. He said we all know CIA, confidentiality and every of those things. Like we have to know who has the access, who is supposed to gain access to my information or the information in this thing. A gateman is not supposed to know your medical record. It's very wrong. So all those kind of things are the reason why data security is important, so that our informations don't go to the wrong person or the wrong person don't just go out there and get our information. And also lawsuit and all these things are important. So there's so many of our things. The moment our data, and we're in the social media world, the moment any of our data is lost, people can just mess with it anyhow. Imagine you're in your room and someone gets access to your pictures you don't want some people to get. You will be all over the internet. Everybody's seeing what it is you're hiding. So we need to, as a company, as an individual, as everybody, we have to secure our data, because the moment the wrong person have an access to our data, that's the end. And most
absolutely.
Absolutely. So there's nobody, I'll keep saying it, there's nobody that feel they are safe from it. If your phone is taken and 419 wipe all your account, you're not safe. So security happens to everyone. We need to be secure as an individual, as a couple, as a company, as everything, every sphere of life right now.
That really brings up very interesting questions, and I hope we'll get to address it. But let's try and bring this down to us. I think last month or a couple of months, my dad's WhatsApp was hacked, right? And everybody was running helter-skelter. We also have had some of our friends who had their Facebook hacked, right? And sometimes the question is, how do these people really do this? I'll direct this maybe to some other person, maybe Izu or Obina or even Dr. Felix. How, like in layman terms, let's take WhatsApp. It's become so common because mostly our older parents, right? They use WhatsApp and they're the ones that get hacked. How does this happen and how can we prevent it? Obina,
hello,
let's say you want to say something. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I want to say something. Sorry, I'm at work, but I just had to kind of switch between working and then attending to questions. Well, Dr. Henry talked about phishing a bit, okay? And he also explained about clicking on unknown links that are not verified. If you see any URL that is bit.ly shortened, a particular hyperlink that should be www.sunnews.com, and you're not seeing it ZZYY, just like the registration link of this gathering, you have to be careful because it could be a phishing link. What do you do? When you talk about HTTPS, that S is just security, okay? And when you're hosting a website for anyone, you pay for SSL, which means a criminal can also pay for SSL and have an S. So it doesn't matter. If you see HTTPS, it doesn't guarantee the website. It doesn't guarantee the link. Now, what do you do in this case? copy the link, paste in a browser. Don't click on it. Paste in the browser, add plus in front of it and press enter. When it opens, it will give you the source. It will tell you details about the link before you can continue to do whatsoever. Like when I got this link, I had to just do that as a cybersecurity measure to be so careful not to be hoodwinked into going into what I don't know, So what actually happens is that there are injections. We call them insecurity injections. You inject them into links, and immediately you click. Forget about some two-factor authentication. You will have them. If you click on this, immediately I get the feedback on my dashboard. Of course, he introduced himself as an ethical hacker. I'm also an ethical hacker, It's like Henry is my lecturer. Pastor Aguboshi is my lecturer. I'm an ethical hacker. Yeah. Thanks, Star. So if you click on a link I have created, because for you to be a good ethical hacker, you should know how to be a bad hacker. You should be a gray hacker, you should be a black hacker, you should be a red hacker before being an expert hacker.
An ethical hacker.
Okay. So if you click on my phishing link and I get response from you, I will see your password, I will see whatever. Sometimes I may not be able to log in because of your two-factor authentication. The next thing I apply is phishing. I will hoodwink a call and tell you to click on to give me a particular number from your phone. Immediately you release this number, I will still have access to your WhatsApp.
So that is actually what happens with this whole WhatsApp thing. When they start calling you and say, oh, give us this 4 number, 4 codes, or 4 figures that we want to do whatever thing. That is your 2-step, even though you have activated.
Yes. Most of those people that will call you, they are calling you because you have activated your two-factor authentication. Okay. So they want to gain access through your two-factor authentication with the code you send back to them. Okay. So, but the secret is be careful with the links you click. You may have clicked a link in an old school forum. Okay. You wouldn't know that that link has sent a particular login credentials to hackers. It may not happen immediately you clicked on that link. It may happen after 2 months. It may happen after 3 months. And
so that you, how did they get to me? So that you have two-factor authentication does not save you. It's not. You still have to be careful. That's why Mr. Dr. Joseph said there is no you in cybersecurity. There has to be that you, even though you've done two-factor authentication, but you have to take action. Thank you very much, Obina. That's very, really clear. I love the plus, the plus thing that you just highlighted. You copy a link, you put a plus, and then you see all the details about that link. That is a very good resource. Isu, let me come to you. We are all learning how all these things are happening. We want to stay ahead. How can individuals, how can organizations really stay ahead and not fall victims to these cybersecurity problems?
Is this question for me?
For Izuchukwu, Mr. Izuchukwu.
Okay. Thank you, Ijoma. All protocols duly observed, So regarding your question on how companies, industries, organizations can, stay updated with the latest trend in cyber threats, is that there's something I usually stress is that organizations must be able to pay attention, in the sense that I notice because I'm in the business line, okay, I notice that what stakeholders do is that because of what they get from IoT, okay, because of the many innovations, they are more concerned about innovation than actually trying to be proactive to protect their data and to protect themselves from any malicious attempt coming from outside. So, and it is very, very pertinent that industries pay attention to issues like ransomware. When people hear about ransomware, they say, oh, it's not just ransomware, it's not ransomware. But the truth is that ransomware has been there for about 2 decades. Okay, and it's not going away. And we can't wish it away. This will always be around as long as internet services is ongoing. As long as we have internet, as long as we have innovations in IT, we will always have ransomware attack. We always have them because they're always on the rise, always on the rise. So industries must learn how, they must stay updated. They must, like I have a very good instance. I think that was, I'm a data guy, so I like to pull data. Around 2020 in Germany, there is a certain hospital that was hacked using ransomware. Okay, what the hacker did was that it logged out everyone out and encrypted their files such a way that they couldn't access medical histories of their patients. And there was an emergency where a woman needs to be attended to. So what the hospital did was that they had to take the patient to the nearest hospital, about 20 miles away. But unfortunately, they lost that very patient. Why? Because the hospital did not, were not proactive in the sense that they never thought about, okay, what will happen? They didn't even have a backup plan against such attacks. Imagine that there was a backup plan, okay, just like what Prof. Henry said, that industry need to learn how to be proactive. In cybersecurity, you have to be proactive. You have to think as though you're a thief, so you can be able to combat the thief. That's the way to really solve this matter. So, and this is what industries need to do. They need to stay updated. They need to update their softwares, okay? And they need to update. They need to educate as well. They need to educate their employees. Very, very important. Actually, we're in a time where there's a lot of remote work going on. You know, I've seen someone using her mobile phone to log into her work. Like, you know, you can't give me 100% of security coming from your mobile phone, and you're using it to access your workplace devices, so which is vulnerable. A lot of things can happen within that short period.
Well, I mean, I guess everyone uses mobile phones these days. So I guess it's the role of the company to also be aware of this and provide secure mobile phone access if they need to.
Exactly. So organizations need to pay attention to little details as this.
Okay. I think it's really important, especially back home in Nigeria. Sometimes people take things for granted because we say, oh, the hackers only target big companies and all that. But to be honest, everyone needs to be awake and take actions, even most importantly, government and public sector.
Positively.
So I will get, thank you so much, Izu. I know that.
Sorry, can I add something, please?
Yes, please.
What Mr. Izu just said. Now, there is a very important thing that every company, government should note about cybersecurity, and that is what we call incident response and management.
We are coming to that. That's actually the next question I have for Dr. Felix.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you, Dr. Felix, what are the steps that an organization would take to effectively respond and recover? We'll definitely later come down to like testing and some other aspects of cybersecurity, but I want to hear from Dr. Felix. What are like incidents or response mechanisms and recovery mechanisms for organizations and also for individuals? Because I saw this happen first, and when my dad's WhatsApp was hacked, we were all running helter-skelter. How do we recover his mobile number and all that?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I believe everybody is hearing me.
Yes, we can hear you.
I will want to first of all appreciate the organizers of this program, especially the governor of Anambra State. I'm so impressed. I also want to, I've kept quiet all this while because I have
your students are talking.
My students here.
Students.
And I think it's the same idea that the governor had. He's saying when you know a successful person, when he has a successor. So when I see Professor Joseph Anambra and Dr. Utu. I don't think I have much to say again. They have said all. But what I want to say is, number one is that security or cybersecurity is not a project. Cybersecurity is not a project. It's not like a house that has the starting point and the closing point. Cybersecurity is a strategy. It's unending. You don't put up a security measure and then go to sleep. It's unending. Just like the last speaker was saying, it's something that is continuous. And Professor Anambra said something that I can't forget when he wrote security and omitted you. What it means is that you don't exist without security. And security also don't exist without us. Now, like the case of WhatsApp or whatever, you don't go into technology without knowledge. I heard Dr. Tu talking about link. In fact, the first professor I met told me that never click a link. He said, copy it and put it on the URL and run. So it takes knowledge to work with security. But let me go to the question now. Suppose there is an incident. You already have a problem. Something has been hacked. What do you do? Particularly, let's say in an organization. The first thing I think somebody should do is to activate the incident response team. There is a team in a particular organization. You have to tell everybody, look at what has happened. Just like you say that is this, he has to tell everybody, look at what has happened. Now, when that has happened, then the next step is to stop it from continuing. Just like if a house is on fire, here in this part of the world, if a house is on fire, every person wants to go and grab what is inside the house. No, the first thing to do is stop the fire from extending. So when there is a security incident, when you have alerted all the team that are involved, the security, the legal, the compliance, the public relation, the management, the next one is to isolate and contain the threat. You have to isolate it. You have to find where it's coming and stop it first. That's the next thing. Then you have your evidence. When you isolate it, you must know where it's coming. You have an evidence, you have something to work with. See, that's why I say that it requires a lot of knowledge. You have an evidence. Then you notify the authorities. Just like somebody's bank account is hacked, you have to first of all find a way to stop it from continuing. Maybe the person has taken the first money or something like that. You have to find that. Then you have to notify the relevant authorities depending on the nature and the security of the breach. Then finally, you communicate internally. Every person in that organization must know. Look at what, just like if a pilot is flying and then one of the engine gets challenged, he's bound by law to tell everybody that one engine has collapsed. So this chief security officer must tell everybody that looked at what is happening. There was a time somebody went to the bank, somebody was behind him, he didn't know, and the person copied. In fact, the person asked him, let me use your ATM, let me use your ATM card, let me put it for you. He didn't know that he swapped the ATM with an expired one. So the expired one got stuck inside the ATM machine. And while they were waiting to see what to do with the card, the person has gone with the card. And before you know it, he has withdrawn all the money in that account. So there is a lot of wisdom that is required. Everyone that wants to stay in the net, that wants to work with data, must have wisdom. What I mean by wisdom, you must learn. Computer security is not something you just do because you have a phone, you know how to call and receive message. No, you must learn everything. Some of us have phone, all we know is hello and send text. Yes, we don't want to read about the manual of that phone. So like what Professor Nkoje was saying, I was just listening. Everywhere here is paper. My paper is here. I want him to send it to me. Knowledge is the only thing you can use to go against such a fault. So, but let me go back. The next step is now you need to engage some external experts, like in an organization or even in the house. You need to engage some external experts. You don't know all. If you know all, they wouldn't have handled the situation the way it is. You engage some experts who can tell you what to do. And then you investigate the breach. You must do investigation. Sure. What did they do? How did it happen? And so on and so forth. Let me say here that cybersecurity incident is also good. If you tell any person that insecurity is good, because without them, you will not advance.
Absolutely,
yes.
You learn.
So as they are doing it, then we are also learning to counter it.
Yes, absolutely.
Just like in the house, you have a key to your gate, and you discover that you wake up in the morning and you discover that the key is no longer there. And what do? You try another, you can get a dog. And the next day they shot the dog. What you now do? You get a gun. So if somebody enter the gate, shot the dog, then you pick your gun. That's how security works.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And you gave us the incident's response from the organization point of view, right? Yes. Now, I want to ask Mr. Obinna, we have a lot of questions with respect to career, and I want to come to that, but I want us to finish up on incident's response and how to deal with it. We have seen, how can people that have had suddenly their Facebook or their WhatsApp accounts hacked, what is the first step they should take? I think, Mr. Obinna, you can handle this, and then we go on to some of the specific questions, very interesting questions on the chat. What is the first step? How do we recover?
Okay, thanks for the question. First of all, whenever you realize your account has been hacked, you escalate that incident by contacting your contacts, like your friends, your family, because someone has hacked you for a reason. He wants to hoodwink your followers to send money to the account. So escalate what has happened through your friends. Like post on your timeline that this has happened to me. Post on your wall that people should be careful. If you have a family forum, post it there that this has happened to me. Now, the next thing is, if you have activated two-factor authentication, then you are saved. Because with your two-factor authentication keys, you will recover your account. Facebook has a recovery link. Just go to Google and say, recover my Facebook, and press enter. You follow the link. They will ask you of the two-factor authentication keys. So far, you are able to provide them. Like the people you recently chatted, the last messages you send, they'll provide it for you so that it will be so user-friendly if you're not a hacker. You look at it, you identify that, yes, I sent this to my mom, I sent this to my husband, I sent this to my friend. You follow the questions and you'll be able to recover it. It's as simple as ABC. There is no secret tool to recovering what has been stolen through virtual means. Okay? So, and of course, there's a question, I want to use this opportunity to pick a question someone asked Professor Najemba about maybe giving him link to free software. Okay, I saw that question. Please, free software is the major bane of cybersecurity. Is a major bane of security. There is nothing like free software. I live in the UK, and if you are staying here in the UK, you see that even if you had MS Word 2.7 from Nigeria, when you get here, you have to pay for it. Otherwise,
except it's open source. Except it's open source.
Yes, except it's open source. Whatever you're working with, like you're using NVIDIA for data analysis, you have to pay for it. Otherwise, it becomes virus. That same software turns to slow your system because one, it's not updated, it's not original, it's pirated. So, but what you buy in on the main market, 100 naira seeds, all of them, we think they are software, but they are all viruses. So let us be careful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Otto. Before I leave you, somebody also asked a question about the plus sign you mentioned. Where does it go? Beginning or at the end of the link? At
the end of the link. Okay. Now, actually, what that plus sign does, whenever you see a link on your WhatsApp and click it, this is just like a water you're pouring into a can directly. Okay. When you click it, it follows the flow from the cup into the can directly. But when you want to pour water into this can this time around, you create a channel through the underflow and pour it. It now redirects before it gets to that your can. You have already understood that this is what a hacking script. So that's why you use a URL to check. Then you put a plus, read whatever details that you see when it opens, and be careful. All right.
Thank you very much. I have one more question for you, but I will let that go for now. I'll keep that in the chiller. I'm coming back for you. Ife Olowa, please. Right. I need you spoke something about couples and sharing passwords. And somebody also, Theresa, she asked, what if you use the same password for Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram? Will it still be secured? And I know that Dr. Anambra has already told us, do not use the same password for all your applications. But we have like 1,001 applications. How can we even keep record of all our passwords? How can I be open financially to my husband by sharing, of course, password to my bank and still being safe in all this, right? What I mean, I have 3 questions in one. So first question is using the same password over and over and over. And then 2, there are some certain people in your life that you want to be transparent with, right? And you need to also share your password with them. How can you do that seamlessly without putting yourself or both of you at risk?
Okay, it's for someone.
This is for Ife Olowa, yes, please.
Okay.
Can you let her unmute? Yes, thank you.
Okay. So thank you again, Ijoma. I think I'll take it and then I'll ask you if I answer your question correctly. No.
Okay.
I mean, because I think you sent like 3 questions, I think. So I would start with one of the foremost things before I go too far. Like, one of the reasons we are being asked is because we are not being, we're not being ready enough. I don't know how to put it for us to get, we're not being ready enough. We're not taking things we should take seriously. For instance, me and you are married. I'm just taking as an example. Me and Izu, so it doesn't look somehow. Are married people, and we plan to actually keep our money together and have a password together. That way we already have an understanding. Do you understand? That's why I said we have to consciously put it in our consciousness that we have to secure everything we have. If me and Izu have an understanding that, we're married couples and we don't want to be defrauded by other people, definitely Izu will not go outside and drink and start exposing, the pin to my ATM number is 12222. We have to have that understanding that we are couples or we're together, but we have to take consistent measures and we have to be consistent in not making our own secret thing exposed to the world. Do you understand? Like, that way, I cannot tell you that, you have a joint account with your husband, and then you'll be changing the password. You have to have a kind of understanding with your couple, with your person, the other person in your relationship, that, this is what we have. Do you understand? But what you can now do to make things better, for instance, now you have a joint account. What you can do is that, the both of you inform banks that without Ife, Izu cannot take money. We have to both sign, and it has to be physical. Do you understand? Or without Ife's thumbprint, Izu cannot take money. Or without Izu's thumbprint, Ife cannot take money. That way, we make it a conscious effort that the both of us has to be involved in taking or missing out of these things. Or for instance, now we can do it in such a way that, oh, Izu will have one side of the password, I will have another side of the password. And I will not tell Izu. And I will not tell my own part of the password. And then anytime we need to log in, we are doing a dual password. So Izu put your own password, I put my own password.
Put my own password.
Yeah, so at that way, we have both combated the whole issue of not being trustworthy around each other. So if Izu should go and tell his drunk friends that, okay, this is the password, they cannot still have access to what it is I have, except I also log in. That one is one. And I think your other question.
So the other one is, we have, somebody was asking about if they have the same password for Facebook, Instagram, and whatever. But what I'm going to also add to that is, of course, now we know there are tons of applications on online that all have passwords. How do you, are there existing apps that we can use? I don't know what is the best way to use to store these passwords or protect them or help us remember them? And also, following what Dr. Joseph said, try not to use the same over and over and over.
Can I answer the question?
Okay.
Yes, please.
Like what the last speaker said about password, very, very interesting. The password is just a secret code, just like you have key to your car. In my family, everybody, my wife, all my children, they know the password to my ATM. So what did I do? To sit them down and teach them the implication of exposing the code. Simple. I don't need to go to bank always to collect money. I can send any of them to go and collect money. I take time to give them thorough lesson, the implication of exposing the ATM card. That's that. Now, concerning what Professor said about having different passwords, it's very simple. Particularly the ladies that are here, you know all your clothes by name. How many of them? You know all of them now. If somebody comes to your house and remove one, you will know. So if you really want, it's wrong to stop password. Just like Mr. Izu said, somebody can stop password because he doesn't want to memorize it and put it under the system. And from there, another person will just go, okay, normally puts the password under the computer. You just say it and then it's free of charge. So you must learn to take it seriously and memorize it. Find a way to join them. They may look alike, but they will be the same. I can use my name and surname to produce 200 passwords. My name is Chukuma. I can write Chukuma in a combination of 20 places. C capital, H capital, U, lowercase letter, something like that. So even if I tell you my password is Chukuma, you can't get it because you don't know the combination.
Good.
So you can do it like that and do it on purpose.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Mr. Izu, let's go over to you. There are lots of questions on career, and that's also one area that I'm very much interested in, because I believe there are lots of young people here in our midst who want to go in this line. So we had someone asking that's Onyeka Chimbelo, that she's, I don't know if it's he or she, studied computer science in school. Does he need to learn Python to become a cybersecurity expert? And I'll give you two questions so you can handle them immediately. Then another person, Eze Obina, asked, can he become an expert with only online courses?
Oh, okay, thank you, Ijoma. Okay, I'll begin with the first person. already she has a background in computer science. So already that is a boost up. Okay. So I will be talking to that person as though the person is an ignoramus when it comes to IT. So already she has the basics. She has the basics. Do you get it? For the first question that says, oh, she has a background in computer science. So what he or she needs to do is first, already I believe we have lecturers here, those that study computer science, we did some level of programming. Okay. Now, depending on your institution, like when I studied computer science in Anambra, I think we did C++, we did Java, we did Python.
So I think just to make it very easy so that we can go straight to the point, I think maybe they're asking, he said Python, but maybe I guess the question would be, what programming language do I need to learn to become a cybersecurity expert?
Okay, it's not learning a programming language first. Okay. It's actually getting it, because there's a lot of resources online where you can get educated. For some of us, okay, there's a lot of certifications. IBM does, Cisco does certification, okay, as well. So when you enroll in these platforms, okay, they will start teaching you from the bedrock of cybersecurity, what you need to know first. Okay, so because knowledge is progressive, as you progress, okay, by the time you are done, I'm speaking from experience, by the time you are done with, let's say, their certification, then all you need to do is to make advancement, because people think it's only just programming. No, it's not really programming.
Exactly. So I guess what you're saying here is certifications for cybersecurity. You go the certification path.
Then gradually,
rather than learning programming
language. Exactly. Then you will just get yourself open to those informations, and it will be a free flow for you. Actually,
and do you think one can become an expert with all those online courses without having to do?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like mostly what I know today is I'm self-taught. Okay, so yes, so I mostly buried myself around online platforms, and that is it.
To be honest, 2023, that is one skill that everyone needs to have, self-learning. You need to self-learn. It's no longer they do not teach me in the school. Nobody's going to ask you that in your job interview. You have to learn yourself. Thank you so much.
Yes, can I just drop this?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Izu, for that clarification. I just want to add to what you've said. You need zero knowledge of programming language to become a cybersecurity.
That is good to know. Some of us are so scared of programming.
However, if you are also a programmer, it's an added advantage. So to become a cybersecurity expert, you don't need to be a programmer. There are a lot of other programs. By programs, I mean applications, not programming language, that you should learn to become a cybersecurity expert. For example, one of the tools that we use in cybersecurity management is what we call a metasploitable browser. Now, a metasploitable browser is a browser that you can use and initiate an attack. So you need to learn that. Okay. Another tool that we use Kali Linux, we use OSIM, and there are a lot of tools. So if you are here and you're interested in becoming a cybersecurity expert, I encourage you to just get in touch and do all those programs, learn all those applications, and you'll be able to do well in cybersecurity. And also, I think there's a question that he asked that you're skipping. I think he asked if, I don't know, Ijoma, you mentioned it.
Sorry, Ijoma.
Yes, please.
I also want to add something on this particular.
One second, Dr. Joseph, I will try to get the question and so that we can get to that. Thank you, Follow. I can go on.
So on the course of what to do as a program, Python or what me I would just advise is that cybersecurity is wide. It's a very wide space. So try to look at one that fits into your perspective. We have application security, we have different, we have SOC, we have infrastructure security, we have so many things. So when you get what exactly, when you try to specialize, then you will know what exactly is required for what you're trying to specialize on. when you do that, you can know, oh, maybe I'll need Python to make this one a better space and place for me, or I will need to learn SQL to become very good in these particular skills. But I think you have to try to specialize first, because
so programming language is not the first step. Start the certification, start the training, then you now know where to go. Thank you. I think that is one thing that is very common that I'm hearing everyone in this space saying. Mr. Obin, I'm back to you again. Today, I'm here for you today. You said that we should be buying software. And I have a question from Rejoice. And I think they need you to, shake body. Somebody's saying, seeing how expensive original softwares are due to the dollar rates, for instance, Adobe Premiere Pro, what's your advice for an average person? Like, how can we do it? We are not earning anything. We are young Nigerians.
Please, actually, if you are prepared to use a particular product, okay, you have to prepare for the financial challenges. Even you that talked about open source software, there are features that open source software lack. For example, if I prepare a PowerPoint presentation and show you, you will doubt if this actually was done by PowerPoint because of how the ambience, the quality of the ambience will look compared to someone that prepared a PowerPoint presentation from Nigeria. There's a particular PowerPoint I'm using presently. In fact, it belongs to the institution I'm working with. So, in fact, I don't need to design. I'll just type few words and click on the design. It automatically gives whatever I need in a very wonderful ambience. Okay, now, if I want to use a particular app or software from Nigeria and I don't have access, all you need is to look for hands that will help. For example, myself, I am here. If you want to use Turnitin to check plagiarism, I can actually help you check it. Okay, releasing that password, my Turnitin dashboard from my institution is actually a compromise. I can't do it, but I can actually help you do it. Okay, so it's just about having tests for driving Mercedes when your money can buy Jaguar.
Someone is donating. We are getting donations on the platform already. So if you're here and you're a student and you've been trying to use Turnitin, we have Mr. Obinot that has just promised to help you out.
Okay, so I do that a lot for some people. Anyway, I contact you. I do a check and I feedback. But if you're not my close friend, I charge 20 pounds. Dr. Henry is aware. Professor Henry, sorry. Henry is actually my roommate, my classmate in school. Okay, so forget that he's now a professor and I'm still leaping. He's my teacher anyway.
Yes.
So I do lots of Turnitin assistance. Okay. So there are apps you may want to use, like CorelDRAW 18. While in Nigeria we have only 15 for 10 free of charge in the market. You call it free of charge. If you open it, it takes you 1 hour to open. Okay. But me, I'll just make a click, it opens, and I'll use it. And my designs will be so sparkless. The AI pictures all over the place. You use AI, you understand? You use Haja AI, Rema AI, so many other pictorial edition AI. Just a click, it makes it beautiful.
I think the bottom line, and this is also a mindset that we need to start changing as Nigerians, that knowledge is not free. Sometimes you need to really spend money to get access to the things that you need, but we've just always want everything free. So I think we're running out of time, and we have a question from Ifani Mweke. Ifani is a blogger, and he says he has his website, which Google dictated deceptive links to my site. How can I remove it? I'm not really conversant with that term, but I guess you guys would. He said, I have a site, www.brainpowerplanet.com, but Google dictated deceptive links to my site. How can I remove it?
Okay. Please, I want to just answer, another person can now answer and add to my answer. If Google dictates any malicious link to your site, it may have been used for illicit purposes. If you think it has not been used for illicit purposes, report to Google by writing. Okay, they will check whatever you have done and correct it. Also, this is why it is also good to have a HTML or PHP knowledge or JavaScript knowledge in cybersecurity courses, okay? There are little knowledges you have, you wouldn't even need to bother yourself, okay? When these mistakes happen, you go down and now try to use the back end, okay, to tidy up whatever error that is coming out from the front end without even disturbing Google, okay? All they will just need is to check your keys to see if it is really you. For example, there are websites, okay, for example, Flippolioko SUG election website, the website they use for student union government election last 2 years and last year. I designed it. During the election, there was a hacking spree. So somebody just injected something and the thing closed, shut down. Okay. So I know what it took. What it took my team almost an hour to troubleshoot it with little assistance of PHP and HTML knowledge. Okay. So this person that asked this question, what you do is to write to Google officially as a simple thing. They will check it and they will activate it. Thank you.
Okay. To add to what Obina just said, I guess this person has a blog site. So what he needs to do is to first go to the back end of his website if he has access to that. Then these days, like he said, at the back end, this thing doesn't really come maybe because they want to really make an attack. It's just that, you know, when other sites want to, this mostly happens with SEOs, okay, search engine optimizations, when maybe another website or wants to just get noticed, so they send like, you know, a link through your own on your blog post. So what he needs to do is just go to the back end. There are other softwares he can use. Those normal websites, SEOs, softwares they use, these things can detect it. It's not a rocket science. It's actually very easy to do. Very easy. He can fix it by himself. He will see those links attached to his. He will see that the back end. He will see where those things are coming from. Or if you decide to go for to analyze his website, he will see those links there. And all he needs to do is to just remove those links and he'll be fine. Then send a couple of messages to Google and he'll be fine. This thing can be done in an hour and he'll be free.
Okay, so Ifeanyi will say, please, if I'm sure you've heard what our speaker said, but just in case you still need some help, feel free to get in touch with them. And I believe that they would help you. And I think our time is almost up. So we'll just take last words from each and every one of us, and then we'll call it a day. Dr. Felix, we'll start from you. What are your last words for our listeners?
Well, I'll just tell our listeners to be security conscious and study, have knowledge, and then move ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I think I will have the honor to have Dr. Joseph, but I also hope that one person will touch on ATM card problems that we are having in Nigeria. So Dr. Joseph, we'll have some final words from you and then we'll move to the others.
Okay, so the final word I will drop for everyone is that in cybersecurity, we say that cyber incidences is not about if, it's about when. So we don't say, it's not a probability if it will happen or not. It's about when will it happen. It must happen. And it's happening right now, maybe to someone on this platform.
This is personal. This is personal attack on me.
It's being a victim right now. Millions of people globally are being victims of cyber attacks right now. So it's not about if, it's about when. Therefore, we need to be ready. We need to be prepared. If you're running a company, make sure you get an incident response team ready, okay? Make sure you get your incident response team ready and have your incident response plans ready as well. If you're an administrator for a company, make sure you put these things in place. And those of us in the government, make sure these things are ready in the government. Incident response plan is ready.
With the right knowledge.
Yes, in incident response plan, we have what we call business continuity plan, business impact assessment. Do all these risk assessments to make sure that you are ready. Have your cold site, your hot site, your warm site. All these sites are different sites that you can fall back on in the case of a cyber incident. By this, you are ready for whenever there is an incident. Thank you
very much. Thank you very much. Ifeoluwa.
Okay, so thank you for having me once more. And I would say this to conclude what I have to say is that one error is sufficient to bring down the whole network. We have discussed people putting password on that place, but just one single error is enough to destroy the whole network. Some of us, we go out and then we open our Wi-Fi and start tapping everything to see which one is free for us to join and start inputting our details and all those things. Those are the wrong steps. People keep making.
Oh.
You go out, you see somebody that puts touch Wi-Fi, you click on it, it's free, you can enter, you start downloading stuff, opening your.
Oh my God, this topic is definitely very wide.
Some of us, you put our card details online with the wrong Wi-Fi. We have to just learn that we have to secure everything we're doing, every site you're logging into. Some of us, we see receive 5,000 naira daily. Click on this link to receive 5,000 daily, and then boom, we're clicking on it, and then next thing we're complaining. So we have to be very careful. Some people randomly say download this APK. It's not even on your app store. It's not on your Google Play Store. You click on it and download. All these things are things that put us out there for
better safe,
transaction.
Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. So let's just put it in our consciousness and everything that one mistake is enough to totally bring down what we have. And like Dr. Joseph said, that if you have small company, you say, oh, it's a small company, I don't need cyber security, it's useless. No, everything needs protection. We as humans need protections. Companies also need protection. So let's be careful about the links we click on, the APK we download on our phone. You download some things and then that's the end. I have an uncle who downloaded one APK and they started showing him naked people's picture. So we have to be careful what we download on our phone, on our device, and the Wi-Fi we join. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ifeoluwa. And someone actually asked that question, Michael Abo. He was saying, how much should I trust antivirus apps and other protective softwares on Play Store? So we still have you, Izu and Obinna, and hopefully somebody will touch on that. So next, Izu, let's have your final word.
Okay, my final word to everyone and to our listeners is simple, that cybersecurity is an ongoing effort, and everyone must be awakened to this. You must know that, and have that sense of urgency, because if you don't treat it as something that is urgent, then you will lack on it. So everyone has to take it serious, just the way you take your life serious while walking on the road. You're careful, you don't get home by 11 p.m., 12, you're also careful about who comes around the neighborhood. The same way it is on the cyberspace. You have to be careful, just like if you say, what you click on, what you download. Okay, you must have that culture of security awareness. It is very, very critical for everyone, and be proactive about it. And I think if we do the necessary things we ought to do, like Professor Henry said, there is no security without the you. So the you part of us is what we need to pay more attention to. And if we do so, I think we'll be better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Izu. And finally, is Obinna.
All right, my dear. Let me start from the question that the other person asked about apps on maybe online or maybe Apple stores. Please, the only secret to knowing a particular app that is fraudulent is in the review. Okay? Before you design an app and upload online for sale, there are protocols we pass through. That protocol gives room for people to criticize that app. So if you have used it to defraud anyone, that person will come and review you and tell people what you have done with that app. So whenever you want to use a particular app, read the review. The review alone will give you what has been done and what has not been done properly in the app. Okay? Now, my advice for the listeners, avoid everything free online. Anything that is free, run away from it. Okay? If it's free Wi-Fi, you're passing on a pub and you saw that you can browse, you log in and start browsing. You're on your own. Before you know it, you start getting debit alerts. So anything that is free, if it's in the airport, is it anywhere, you have to be careful. The Wi-Fi you get access to. Okay? And then if you are maybe a businessman here and have a website or you are online in the cyber space, there are a few advice I will drop. Okay, one is for you to use virtual private network, VPN, very, very important. Okay, customize that VPN to your domain so that if there is anything that is going to be injected in it, you have to be safe. Okay, so VPN for companies, and then if I see CEO, okay, or an admin to a company, the way you treat your staff matter. Okay, this one is human to human security. If you are treating your staff bad, forget it. Your security is going to be porous. Because I'll simply call my guy and say, use this. You can withdraw 10 million. And you withdraw 10 million from the company. So welfare package is very, very important in cyber security. People don't know. When Henry was talking about human to human security, this is what he was referring to. The way you treat your staff matters. Secondly, whoever you want to employ, check the background. You see, domestic violence. Domestic violence is one of the loopholes we have in cybersecurity. Let me tell you the truth. Someone, in fact, sorry, I'm going far. In remote working, we have mobile remote working and immobile remote working. Immobile remote working is better than mobile because immobile remote working is not susceptible to attacks. Immobile remote working is you just stand in a seat. You know that your office is in your house. Whenever you come home, you work. But mobile remote working is maybe you are entering a bus in a peace pack or a KSN. You work for your company. You see you are open to attacks. Okay? So the device you use, if you have domestic violence, they are not secured. I can come home one day and see that my wife has burnt my office laptop. It's an issue. So all these things are things we should take cognizance of. But let me end it here. Maybe it's a story for another day. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, our moderators. And it's been an honor to speak with you and have a discussion. It was really, really very insightful, and I learned a lot myself. So I think it's back to you guys on the management, Mary Jane. Or you want us to keep talking? Because we have some questions. Somebody asked about Opera Mini Free MB. But if I see you, Mary Jane, come up, then I know it's time. My time is up. Someone is asking, Okafor Ijoma is asking, what about Opera Mini Free MB? We actually closed for this session. We are waiting for...
Okay, I will say, why go for a free MB when you can afford it? Data is not that expensive this time around, even in Nigeria as well. So, Nigeria in quotes, we like free stuffs. And basically, it's through free stuffs that people get vulnerable with such a thing. So why go for Opera Mini, free megabyte, blah, blah, blah. Of course, I believe if you have data in your phone, or rather in your system, you can actually use it to access whatever you want to access. So I think to stay within the context of our discussion, it's ideal for people to stop going for free stuff. I think I've mentioned it earlier in this platform. Stop going for free stuff, free days, free that, when you can actually have them. They're not that expensive.
Okay.
My little advice.
Rejoice begs to disagree. Data is expensive and it's unregulated. 1 month plan lasts only a few days, but I understand your points. Yeah. Thank you so much. I think this discussion will go on and on and on, and I'll call it a day here from my end. Yes, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you, Precious.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone. I would want this session to go on and on and on, but then I'm not the only person on the meeting, so we'll have to actually bring it to an end. It has been a very insightful session. It's been value-packed to me personally. I don't know about you. So if you learned something, if you got value from this session, please let me hear you say, I got value. Let me hear you, type that into the chat box. You can appreciate our speakers, the keynote speaker, the panel speakers, please appreciate them. Personally, I thank you all on behalf of the SID team. I thank you all for bringing out your time to share your experience, to share your knowledge, to share all this insightful, information with the ecosystem we have here in Anambra State. We can thank you enough. We are really, really grateful. We also appreciate everyone for making it to this session. We appreciate you, for making out your time to be on this session from the beginning up until now. We appreciate you. Ultimately, we appreciate Mr. Governor, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, for making this gathering possible. We also appreciate the special advisor to the Governor on Innovation and Business Incubation, Ms. Chinwe Okoli, for spearheading the Solution Innovation District. Thank you very much, everyone. Please, the speakers, people would like to connect with you. You can share with us on the chat box the channels through which we can get connected to you, maybe LinkedIn, Twitter, anywhere. Personally, I would like to be in touch with most of you, with all of you, So please share with us on the chat box the link to your social media profiles so we can be in touch. And also to everyone, if you're not connected to Solution Innovation District on social media, please go ahead. Go on all social media platforms and search for Solution Innovation District, or head over to our website, innovation.anambrastate.gov.ng. Our social media handles are there at the top, at the heading part of the website. Click on each of the links and follow us, and stay connected. Because values like the type you've gotten today are only announced. Events like these are only announced across all our social media platforms, and I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss such values. Once again, I thank you all for making our time to be here on this session today. So without wasting much of your time, I think we have to come to an end. But before that, we have to take pictures. So everyone, if your video is muted, you can unmute your video, turn on your camera and take pictures. Turn on your cameras and take pictures. Yes, turn on your camera and take pictures. Yes, if your camera is not turned on, please turn it on and take pictures before we bring the session to an end. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Like I said earlier, stay connected to us on our social media channels. And then let's look forward to the next month's edition of Anambra Tech Drive. If you have any inquiries about the programs of Solution Innovation District, any of our programs, you can head over to our website, innovation.anambrastate.gov.ng. And then you go to our contact page, you can send a message there, you can call us, you can send a WhatsApp message, you can send us an email, and we will be glad to respond. Thank you very much, everyone. And that will be it from me on this session. Thank you all. Bye.